I became altar boy when I was 9, and because I have always been quite a pyromaniac, I was the youngest guy allowed to do incense in the church when I was 10. Since my early childhood, I loved playing with fire. Somehow, I have always been attracted to fire. These flames, they just drive me into themselves. So, I was trained by my pastor to do incense, and I loved every single time. Let me demonstrate to you how one is supposed to do incense in the church. We start with a charcoal. These charcoals are really cool. In my days, you had to blow on them to keep them burning, but now they just takes one touch. Oh, like that. Isn't this exciting? And then, once the charcoal is set on, you put it in the incense burner, which is properly called a thurifer, and you keep the oxygen going on so it doesn't extinguish. So you have to be moving or blowing on the charcoal to be ready in time for Mass or for benediction. You can only imagine how exciting it is for someone who is 10 or 11 years old. You know, you get to play with fire and nobody yells at you. They actually want you to play with fire and they want you to cause a lot of smoke. I mean, what more can you dream about if you are a pyromaniac, right? This is your dream come true. And you get to swing it too at times. So it's really, really exciting if you are a crazy boy like I was. There is no danger, trust me. It happens only every 3 times that something bad happens, but today is just the second time this weekend. Fire is something very exciting to many people, and I think Jesus was a pyromaniac as well. In the gospel today, he says, I have come to set the earth on fire. And how I wish it was blazing already. For us, the people who live in the 21st century, fire has lost its appeal and its importance. You know, we can live easily without fire. We don't really use fire anymore unless you smoke. If you don't smoke, rarely will you have anything to do with open fire. But back then, long before Thomas Edison, long before electricity, fire was something crucial. Fire was something fundamental to life and to civilization. As a matter of fact, many people believe, myself included, that discovery of fire was the most important part of the evolution and civilization of Homo sapiens. When a man or a woman learned how to control fire, their life changed forever. Imagine life without a fire. All you can eat is raw food. Now, I know raw food diet is popular these days, but imagining raw food diet because you have no other choice. All you eat is raw veggies, fruits, roots, things of that nature. Imagining protecting yourself from wild animals without fire. Impossible. Imagine spending nights talking and socializing without fire. Impossible. So when Homo sapiens learned how to control fire, how to keep it burning, Homo sapiens became a new species. Fire provided us with three very important functions. First of all, it gave us security and safety. With fire, we can protect ourselves. With fire, nothing seems to be too scary. Two, it allowed us to feed better, to cook our meats, to cook a soup. We don't have to be on a raw food diet anymore. And three, fire allowed people to sit down at night and share stories. And sharing stories is exactly how civilizations begin. Without stories, without talking around the bonfire, there is no civilization. So when you think about all these biblical stories, when you think of Adam and Eve, Moses, Abraham, Noah, all the other stories, remember that they were not written down first, they were spoken out loud. They were shared stories by people who were sitting around the fire. Without fire, there would be no Bible, no art, no philosophy, no theology. And so when Jesus says, I have come to set the earth on fire, it's really important to remember that he's talking to people who depend on fire for their living. Fire was not optional like it is today. Fire was fundamental to life. No protection, no food, and no civilization without fire. When he says, I want to set the earth on fire, he says that we need to be that fire, that we need to be on fire. And I think at St. Stanislaus, in this unique community of faith, we can claim that we carry on that mission of Jesus, that we carry on that flame alive. How? In the same way that fire does, by providing safety, by providing food and new civilization. Safety. At St. Stanislaus, we provide people with a space and community where nobody is judged, where nobody is condemned, where nobody is abused because of who they are, what they look like, or who they love. That's the first job of a fire, to provide a space of safety and security. And as a parish, we need to be such a space of comfort, of safety for those who have been alienated, who have been judged, who have been kicked out from different churches, from different communities. This is a very important part of what it means to be set on fire by Jesus. The second job of a fire community, I like it too. The second job of a fire community is to provide food. Again, if you have no fire, you can only be a vegan at best. And at St. Stanislaus, it is our pride that we provide spiritual food, sacramental nourishment to all. That we don't let people go away hungry. That we don't starve people because of our judgments. Providing spiritual and sacramental food is our call, is our job as a community set on fire by Jesus. And finally, a new civilization. Thanks to the fire, civilizations begin. And thanks to God's fire, we have a chance to start a new Catholic civilization. You know, so many people tell me, Father, I love being Catholic, but I am so fed up by all that BS that comes from the bishops. And me too. I love being Catholic, but I cannot take all that crazy stuff that bishops say and do. So maybe it is time we use that fire to build a different civilization, a different way of being Catholic, a better way of being Catholic. Maybe because we are on fire, we can create a civilization that will be Catholic, but will leave behind all the BS and unnecessary balance. There is a way to be a good Catholic. There is a way to be set on fire without being dragged behind by all that truly is not important. So we do have a chance to provide a new beginning for the Church, to give other Catholics an example of new Catholic civilization. Naturally, it is not always easy to play with fire. Sometimes, actually, it can be quite challenging. As every altar boy knows, it takes a lot of work to keep the incense going on for all the Mass. From time to time, you have to gently blow on it, and really you do have to keep that incense going on like that once in a while, which can cause an accident once in a while. When I was 12 or 13, I believe, I was doing just that right before benediction, and one of the links broke. Nobody got hurt, nobody was burning, but the bottom of the incense flew all over the church, to the main aisle, with sparks going on in every direction. Thank goodness, in Poland, they don't put carpets on the floor. There is a stone floor, so nothing really got burned or destroyed. My mother and I had to spend hours later cleaning it. But I learned that if you play with fire, you have to be prepared for mishaps and adventures. And so as we play with God's fire, as we heed the call of Jesus to be set on fire, we shouldn't expect that everything will go perfectly smooth all the time. No, from time to time, we will make mistakes. From time to time, something will happen, and that's okay. We'll pick up all the mess and keep moving on. But it is a better choice than being without fire. It is better to have an accident once every 3 masses than to have no fire at all. I invite you to believe in the power of God's fire, to believe that as a Christian, as a Catholic, you and I can provide people with safety and security, with spiritual food and nourishment, and with new Catholic civilization. Amen.